The Breitsporbahn, a hulking steel serpent towering at 7 meters and stretching 6 meters wide, was a marvel of twisted engineering. Inside, luxury and lethality intertwined. Passengers would have reveled in opulent cabins, blissfully unaware of the hidden anti-craft cannons nestled beneath a massive dome. This heavily armed behemoth, brimming with soldiers, was the brainchild of Adolf Hitler himself. Obsessed with his pet project, Hitler prioritized the Breitsporbahn even as his other grandiose schemes crumbled under the weight of war. Unlike the colossal German stadium, envisioned to seat a staggering 400,000 spectators, or the Elbe High Bridge, designed to outshine the Golden Gate, the Breitsporbahn held a dark purpose. It was linchpin in the Nazi dream of global domination. Despite the crippling steel shortages of the war, Hitler diverted a staggering 84,000 tons of the precious metal to fuel his monstrous train's construction. This insatiable demand exposes the depths of Hitler's delusion, prioritizing a symbol of tyranny over the needs of his war effort. Unearthed. A German historian named Anton Joachim Stahler has unearthed the original plans for Hitler's monstrous train in his new book, compiled from various archives. Even amidst the wartime focus on weaponry, the Nazi regime tasked the very same companies with designing the Breitsporbahn. Over 100 proposals for locomotives and carriages flooded in. Here's where things get outlandish. Remember the standard railway tracks you see everywhere? Those are typically 1,435 millimeters wide, with slight variations. Hitler initially envisioned a staggering 4 meters for his behemoth. After much back and forth, a still enormous 3 meters was finally agreed upon. The train itself mirrored this grandeur, boasting a width of 6 meters and a height of 7 meters. Passenger versions stretched up to 420 meters, while freight trains topped a kilometer, a double-decker behemoth as per Hitler's decree. Today's trains would look like miniatures in comparison. Luxury was the name of the game for the Breitsporbahn's interiors. First class reigned supreme on the upper deck, offering panoramic views, ample space, and plush furnishings with coat racks and luxurious armrests. Directly below, typically on the lower deck, was the slightly less spacious second class. The third class, while still roomy, occupied a more modest area. On top of individual cabins, there were grand communal areas. Imagine sipping wine and smoking while lounging on sofas in a sophisticated bar. Similar spaces minus the bar were planned for reading and socializing. The pièce de résistance, a dining car that promised an incredibly impressive experience. Unveiling the opulence. Drafts reveal the Breitsporbahn's interior as a palace on wheels. Natural wood paneling gleamed, accented with gold trimmings and chandeliers casting a warm glow. Unlike the rest of the behemoth, this sole single-decker car boasted soaring ceilings, creating an illusion of spaciousness that defied its locomotive confines. Beyond this grand hall, additional restaurants and breakfast rooms promised culinary delights. To keep passengers entertained, a cinema with nearly 200 seats and a smaller stage for lectures and performances were incorporated. Long journeys were a breeze with the inclusion of sleeping cars. First class epitomized luxury. After a grand reception area, wealthy passengers retreated to their expansive compartments. Imagine plush sofas, inviting armchairs, a vanity table for primping, and a large window offering breathtaking vistas. Ensuite bathrooms with toilets, sinks, and showers ensured the utmost comfort. Second class, while less extravagant, offered private bedrooms with sinks for basic ablutions. Nevertheless, all classes had access to the lavish bath car, boasting 4 bathtubs and a staggering 20 showers. For the style-conscious traveler, dedicated ladies' and gentlemen's hairdressing salons ensured perfectly coiffed appearances throughout the voyage. Discreet storage and staff rooms kept the train functioning smoothly, while a dedicated pastry shop promised a constant supply of fresh cakes and tempting treats. The pièce de résistance, a fully glazed viewing platform at the very end of the train, offering passengers unparalleled panoramic vistas as they journeyed across the landscape. While a mere 200 passengers could luxuriate in first and second class, third class offered more than double the capacity, easily fitting over 500. Here, however, the concept of comfortable journey became relative. These were designs for a stark contrast: Eastern worker carriages. Seating was abandoned in favor of basic benches, cramming 8 travelers per compartment, doubling as beds at night. These 480 workers would be confined to their designated quarters, denied access to the rest of the train's opulent offerings. Food would be a utilitarian affair, prepared in a separate kitchen and delivered in buckets to a designated canteen. This glimpse into the segregated classes begs the question: what purpose did Hitler envision for the Breitsparbahn? Why such fervent prioritization of this monstrous train in the midst of war? Unveiling Hitler's agenda, the launch that exposed the Breitsparbahn's dark purpose. March 24, 1942, Munich. Over lunch with his confidants, State Secretary Hermann Esser and architect Hermann Geisler, Hitler unveiled a critical piece of his nightmarish vision: the true purpose of the Breitsparbahn. This colossal train wasn't just a symbol of extravagance, it was a linchpin in his plan for global domination. Hitler envisioned a world where vast oceans were bypassed, replaced by a web of steel tracks stretching across the entire Eurasian continent. The Breitsparbahn would be the artery of this network, a high-speed juggernaut carrying not just passengers but his dream of empire. Imagine a route snaking from the Mediterranean at Gibraltar, weaving through Spain and France before reaching a grand junction in Munich. From there, 2 prongs would split, one thrusting south to Rome, the other slicing east through Vienna, Budapest, Belgrade, Bucharest, and ultimately reaching Istanbul. Another critical route would connect Brest in France to the industrial heart of Germany before hurtling eastward to pierce the heart of the Soviet Union, a direct line from Berlin to Moscow. Hitler's ambitions didn't stop in Europe. The table discussions revealed plans to extend the Breitsparbahn through Iran and Iraq, securing oil reserves vital to his war machine. The East beckoned further, with a proposed line reaching all the way to Vladivostok on the Pacific. Even India, then under British control, wasn't beyond his fantastical network. This wasn't just about passenger travel. The Breitsparbahn was designed to be the economic lifeblood of a Nazi-controlled Eurasia. Raw materials and resources from across the continent would flow westward, feeding the German war machine. To exploit these resources, the regime envisioned a sinister use for the Eastern worker carriages, transporting forced labor from conquered territories to toil in German factories and fields. But the vision wasn't one way. Germans, envisioned as colonizers, would be hurtled eastward by the train, a rolling tide of occupation. To quell any resistance to this forced migration, the Breitsparbahn was to be heavily armed. Imagine a train bristling with weaponry, carrying soldiers, ammunition, and even tanks, a mobile fortress on a mission of subjugation. Thankfully, Hitler's monstrous dream never materialized. The Breitsparbahn remained a blueprint for tyranny, a chilling testament to the depths of his ambition. The Reich's crumbled rails, the Breitsparbahn's demise and legacy. Though the war brought a screeching halt to the Breitsparbahn, whispers of its monstrous design lingered. Fragments of plans, ghostly blueprints for subjugation, surfaced in the aftermath. The Soviet acquired some, while whispers placed others in Parisian archives, forever hidden from the public view. Perhaps unsurprisingly, these plans remained buried, a chilling reminder of a future that thankfully never arrived. From the outset, the project was met with skepticism from seasoned railway minds within Germany. Standard gauge trains, they argued, could handle most of the envisioned routes. But voicing dissent against Hitler's pet project was akin to courtly suicide. His megalomania craved the grandiose, the outlandish. The bigger, the more outlandish, the more his twisted enthusiasm swelled, as Nazi architect Albert Speer later observed. The Breitsparbahn stands as a stark monument to Hitler's insatiable greed and unhinged ambitions. Its very existence, pursued relentlessly even as the Reich crumbled around him, exposes the boundless depths of his madness. It serves as a chilling reminder of the destructive potential of unchecked power and the importance of speaking truth, even in the face of tyranny. If you like this video, click the next one shown on the screen. I'm sure you'll like it. Thanks for watching.